Hi everyone, it's the Tides Changing here, and welcome to part 10 of Let's Build a Rustic Inn. I'm going to speed up the changes the same way I did in the last video. I personally think it's the best way to keep things moving forward. And also before getting started, I wanted to apologize for not putting the link to the unfinished inn in the description of the last part. I know in the last part I said I had uploaded and that was going to be in the description, but when I was uploading it, I was in a bit of a rush and I forgot to add it, but it will be in the description of this part. So once again, I apologize for that. Moving on, a lot of you felt like the original rustic flooring I had in the main area looked a lot better. A common reason was that it helped to fill in the blank spaces on the floor, and looking back at things, I do agree with that. I decided to replace the flooring in the formal room with the same one as well, just for continuity, and I think with all the furniture in place, it did look a lot better. Iana also suggested going back to the executive type chairs I originally had rather than the blue ones. So I put those back in, and then I realized that maybe it did look a little bit better with those in there with, all the colors, other colors in the room chosen. It also helps to break up all the blue some, which I think is nice. Also, Lily pointed out that it may look better to just have a flower on top of the coffee table, and Saga suggested using just a regular floral arrangement rather than the rose, because the rose was more of a romantic looking object. Next, Matthew felt like a reading chair would work better in that corner than a plant on top of a table, and also Hollister99 suggested placing wood paneling behind the doors to give it more of a built-in type of a look, so I just used the wood paneling that matched the paneling and wallpaper mix that's currently on the walls. Also, Mariana felt like the wine bottle would look a little bit better placed by the bar there, so I just replaced the fruit bowl with that, which does make a little bit more sense in there. I also ran into issues with items being deleted, of course, so I just have to stick those back in. And then regarding the desk area, Jordan suggested placing the pencil cup item in rather than the ink pen, which I guess does work well because you might have just a little cup filled with assorted pens and pencils for people to use rather than a fancy inkwell type item. Over in the bathroom, Susan pointed out that a trash can would be a nice touch. She also suggested using walls to make the chimney rather than the actual chimney item. That way it could blend in with the rest of the inn a little bit better. Which is a good point. So what I did was I just put walls around where the chimney was and then used the same river rock type wallpaper on it. And then of course got rid of all the chimney items in there as well. So that's just what I'm working on right now. And then at the top I just placed a 2x1 room up there above where all the other ones were, just to have the chimney come up a little bit higher as well, which is another reason she pointed out for being a better way to do the chimney. And I did have a little bit of trouble when it came to figuring out how to top it off. I found that when I had flooring in place that the chimney wouldn't show up below it, but I ended up getting rid of the flooring and then I was able to place in this modern chimney and then just raise it up so you can't really even tell that that's not an actual chimney. So in the end, I think that does work very well and definitely blends in a bit better with everything else than the brick chimney. Moving back to the interior, Nora reminded me that I need to place a speaker somewhere inside, so I just stuck one right there above that little wall object in the bar area. That also meant that this lot has everything it needs to be zoned as either a nightclub or a bar, and to be zoned as a lounge, all it needs is a microphone, so I might be able to get it so you can just zone this as whatever you want. Nora also suggested adding a chess table behind the couch as well, and after thinking about it for a bit, I realized that I don't want a card table in this room. I just feel like it doesn't fit in with the rest of the furnishing, so I don't think this is the right place for it. But there is plenty of space in the second floor landing type area to place a card table, so I think I'll make that area a little bit less formal and add one in there. But getting back to the chess table, I was just messing around with the colors of the chairs a bit. I tried out orange chairs because I felt like there's too much blue in the room and orange is a complementary color. But I worried that the chess table made the space a little bit too busy, like it just wasn't really necessary. Maybe the room just looked best without it. So I ended up just getting rid of the chess table for the time being. That's it for all the changes, so I'm going to move on to the dining room now. First off, let's get some light in there so you can see what we're doing. I'm just going to use this same light, and I guess I'm going to stick it, just center it right in this area over here. I'm also going to use the same wood flooring in here as well. And I'm definitely going to finish the dining room in this part, and if the dining room doesn't take too long, I may move on to the kitchen as well, because neither of them are very big rooms. But as far as what to put on the wall, I kind of like this. It's sort of, what is this called? Granny's house. It's really dated looking and kind of not really, I don't know, it's got sort of a cozy, elegant feel to it. Like, it's not personally what I would put in my house, but I kind of like how it might look for this place. So actually, let me get it on the walls here. Let me get this accent wall back in. Oops. Let me get that back in here again. I know some of you might be looking at this and thinking it's gross, but I don't know for sure I'm gonna stick with this. I might try some other things, but there's something about that I sort of like for this kind of a place. We also have this. So we could go with this in maybe like a green type color. That is nice and bright. So let's try that with the stone accent wall. Maybe this is a bit better of an option. Yeah, the other one was kind of... Okay, yeah, this is a little bit better. So maybe this is what we'll go with. It is nice and bright. I could also try the same thing with the wood paneling here. And that does match up at the top there. So I do like how a lot of this paneling goes together. But let's see what else we have. We do have this, the full paneling that comes in the same color on the wall. We could go with that. I do like the idea of pattern paneling though. We could also try other colors, so maybe we could go with the blue color this one comes in. So I'm gonna just try this. Maybe the blue would look nice. I'm not having the paneling everywhere does nicely brighten things up in here a bit. Oh, I actually like the blue. I think I'm just gonna stick with the blue for the time being. Looks like that column stuck inside, so I'm gonna have to get rid of that. We also need a fireplace on this wall, so I think I'm gonna use this one. I could also use this huge one. Well, this one doesn't, it's wider, but it doesn't stick out as far, so perhaps that would work a little bit better for there. I can't see what colors we have for this. This one might actually work better. So we have that, which looks pretty nice. What else do we have? Let's see, we've got this. What is the difference between these two? I kind of like this one. We also have this bright white one. That looks sort of nice too. I think it's between, where was it? This one and this one. Unless there's this gray. I wish there was this gray one with a silver around the actual fire. I think I'm gonna go with this one here. And then above it, we definitely need a painting. I think a painting or something like that would be nice. I think we need something really nice in here, so perhaps this or... Ooh, that looks nice. Oh, it's really expensive though, but I mean the Sims aren't actually gonna buy this place, although that does of course make it more expensive to stay in. But I think I'm gonna do this frame color. I think the fireplace is nice. I'm just worried it's a little bit too big for the space, so I don't really like that painting anymore. We do, oh whoa, that's a little bit too big. We do have this, so we could go with that, but I kind of want a painting that's a little bit longer. We could go with this piano painting in here. That could work well for a dining room. So let's get that lowered a little bit right there. I think it has a wood frame as well. Yes, it does. I think this one, yeah, I like how that looks. I think that works well in there. I just wish the fireplace came different colors, because I like the fireplace, but not the colors. Maybe we could also... Oh yeah, I should also put in the doors and such. And Robert suggested putting in some windows into the kitchen so that you could see it from the dining room. I'm thinking since there's a door here, I'll have the arch over here and then have a few windows in here, or maybe just one window. We'll have to see how things fit in, but as far as the arch goes, I'm thinking this one right here. And then we can get it in a color that, well, it doesn't quite match, but close enough. It's pretty close. Moving on to the windows, maybe... I'm not sure if that would be good for this area. Maybe we'd want one that's more... see-through, although this one doesn't have very good frame coloring. Yeah, I don't really... Not really feeling that one. We could also do a couple of these. They are a little bit smaller, so we could do a couple of these right next to each other. I think maybe this might come in just a regular wood frame. Oh, it does. Okay, so these could work. They're a little bit modern, but I don't know that they're really be, because if you had windows like this that had the, like the, I want to say lattices, but I don't think that's the right term, but basically just the, like just the wood running down and across here, I feel like that would kind of get away of maybe the purpose of these windows, which is either for the people in the kitchen to look through and be able to check in on the people out there, or for people to be out here and looking in on the kitchen, although you can sort of see it from here. So I don't know if there's really much of a point for the windows, but I don't know, because there is this big arch. I also don't want to stick windows in on this side. So maybe, I don't know how I feel about those. Maybe I'll just get rid of them for the time being. You guys can let me know what you think. I thought it was a cool idea, but when I went to go actually try it out, it didn't work quite how I envisioned it. But I also stuck a light in there so I can get a little bit of extra light over in this area. Also, Nathan wanted to see a buffet table placed in here, so I'm thinking right here would be a good spot for that. So I can just get a table pushed up against the wall and put some, try to find some buffet type items for that. I'm not sure what I'll be able to find, but I'll try to place everything food-like that I can on there. So I'm thinking maybe this for the buffet table. You could also go with this, but I feel like that's a little bit cheap for this area. We could also just go with this, maybe? Maybe, because maybe the buffet table would be a little bit less informal, or a little bit less formal actually, and then I can use fancier tables in the rest of it. So we can do this, and this color blends in well. We can also fit a ton of stuff on it, so I think that works pretty well. Perhaps some of those paintings of food up above it. I know I stuck the fruit bowl painting over in the other room, so maybe I can move the fruit bowl painting in here. So I feel like that would work a little bit better in there, so we can just have that little painting there. Maybe this one, or another smaller one right here. There is, oh, that's not small. Perhaps we could put this here. That's actually kind of creepy though. Like, I never really looked at this painting up close, but I don't know why. To me, it looks somewhat creepy, but we could stick it there. Maybe it could be like the inn owners, a picture of the inn owner's ancestor, maybe the person who originally founded it or something like that. It could have some kind of historical value, so maybe that works. But now I'm going to try and find all the food-like decor items that I can, which there isn't really a whole lot. I don't know if it makes sense to have this. Maybe we could have this at one end. So it's kind of like you get your food and then there's condiments for it. Or, I don't know, maybe we can have that at the table rather than there, because the only food type item I can think of really off the top of my head is the fruit bowl. And you're not going to want to stick ketchup on a fruit bowl. Because ketchup and fruit just don't mix. Although tomato is technically a fruit, so technically ketchup is made from a fruit. But still, you don't want to mix them. So I think we can have a fruit bowl in the center. Maybe this could be over here so people can... actually, that... Unless it's dinner, I mean, like, you wouldn't have... I feel like this is going to end up with a fruit bowl. This is going to end up being more of like a breakfast table, and it's not traditional to drink in the morning. Some people do, but I don't think we'd want to have a wine bottle, more of a breakfast type buffet table deal. Oh, we can have a little... Where's the tea set? I just saw it. There we go. We can have a little tea set here too, so they can get some tea. So this will be more of a, maybe like a drink table. Since there is this tea set, there's also a little... the little old-fashioned coffee machine thing, or coffee maker thing. So we got some tea, they got some coffee, some fruit. Maybe I can stick... Ooh, there it is. Antique coffee pot. I think that'd be really perfect for here. So we can have that. And let's see if we can get this in maybe... There we go, I like that color. So that's sort of nice. Let me see if there's any other food type items. I might have just missed them, but there really isn't a whole lot of options. I could also place in the other fruit bowl as well. Maybe like there's multiple, so I guess that's more so what this is. Oh, then maybe we can... Well, you know what? I guess you'd have the drink items at one end. So I think it'd make more sense just to keep that down there. And there we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Scooched over this way more. And then you probably want to have the handle facing away, like this way, so that... Or the spout facing away, so like the handle that you would grab is right there. What else do we want to have? Maybe at the end we could just have a little flower. Or I feel like, you know what? I feel like the flower would be in the center of the table. So we can have the flower there, and then the fruit bowls on either side of it. So I think that that looks pretty nice. That's about all the items I can think of that would really work well there. But I think that's a pretty nice setup. Let's see what colors we have for this. I think the red is the best. I also think this will look better once we get everything else in, and perhaps a plant over in this corner. Right here, so I'm thinking we can use this guy. I really do like this plant, other than the fact that you have to get it pretty far away from the wall to have it not poke through. But I think we can get it in a little bit more. Okay, good, we have no poke through yet. Scooch it in a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good. And then let's change the bottom of this to wood. I wonder if it'd be too much if we had lights on that wall as well. Maybe we can do that right here. And lower this a little bit more. I think maybe that looks nice. It fills it in without having a ton of paintings. Also brightens it up some. I do wish they had, I don't believe they had a longer table with a tablecloth on it. Because ideally that's what I would want to use there, you know, to make it look like an actual buffet table, but that's about as close as I can get. I think it works well though. So now we can work on the actual seating. Also, Ewan suggested putting a sort of band space in here as well. There's not a whole lot of room for that, but perhaps I can have a microphone over in this corner, which would make it so this could be zoned as a lounge. I think that's going to be about all we have space for without things getting too cramped in. So we do, I believe, have room for 2 tables. So we could put these in. Maybe we could also do just, rather than having these, we could do a few of the smaller ones as well. But I'm going to try putting in that microphone. I think a microphone's all we're going to have room for. There's not really going to be room for guitar in here. So we have a microphone, sort of like, I guess, for a performer to come in and sing. There's definitely not any room for a piano. Unless we don't want to have Sims be able to eat in here, which would kind of defeat the purpose of this being a dining room. But we got a little microphone in there. We can make it silver to match the tea set or something. I don't know. I just like silver more. Oh, we also need curtains for in here as well. So I think I'm going to go with a similar type of curtains. I could go with the really fancy ones, but it might be too fancy. So we have these. I don't even know if they come in any decent colors, though. I think this kind doesn't really... Yeah, this one doesn't really come in anything that I like. So I think I'm just going to go with this. This is the fancier of that type of curtain. So we go with this, go with a white color. And now that I think about it, maybe it would be better to take the kitchen in a little bit, make it a little bit smaller, and make the dining room a little bit bigger. Although this is kind of too small for the kitchen now, so never mind. I don't know. When I made this place, I felt like there was all the space, and then now that I'm actually furnishing it, there's just not nearly as much as I thought. But now to pick out the dining room tables for here. So I'm thinking all we can fit in is 2 tables, so we can use this one, maybe a couple of these. Maybe we'd even be able to fit in 3 of these. Okay, so I think that color works. We also need a rug in here as well. Perhaps something fancy, maybe more square to fit in this area. Ooh, I like this one. I kind of wish it was a little bit smaller though, but maybe that kind of works. I'm not sure if that might look kind of odd where it is since it's up against this wall here. What if we just push the kitchen in just one, whoops. What if we push the kitchen in just one space rather than 2 spaces? Because then you do get this kind of cove type area here, I guess is what you would call it. So that could be interesting space to use. Maybe I could stick 2 refrigerators in there since that's going to be a commercial kitchen. It does open things up in here a bit as well, so I think that works. Okay, so we can now have the rug out a little bit further. And I think that works really nicely with the coloring in here. As far as the chairs go, I'm going to try out using at least the high-backed ones that came with Outdoor Retreat. Because this place is in Granite Falls after all, and I haven't actually kept those chairs anywhere yet. So I'm not going to stick with this plaid color because that doesn't really work well. Maybe we could just go for simple white. Although that doesn't exactly match the table, but maybe this table, ooh, maybe this could work. Brighten things up a little bit. I kind of wish for a little bit of a grayer color though. This actually could work though. Maybe breaks up the grays and such some. We can also stick this over here and now combine the 2 and maybe try out another color. There is the plain blue here which would work with everything. That'd be a lot of blue though. We do have this plaid color, which I feel is a little bit too busy with the carpet. So I think I'm gonna stay away from the plaid. So that only gives us red, blue, white, and this color, which I'm not gonna use that. I do sort of like the blue, so we can try this. It actually works well with the color of table I have as is. So I'm just gonna kind of do both of these setups like this, see which one looks the best in here. I'm kind of feeling the blue setup here. I know that's a lot of blue in this room, but oh, and then I had blue here. I always go for blue. You know, I guess whenever you build, you just go for what your favorite colors are. Mine are blue and green, so that's why I always go for those two colors when I build. But I think for this space, I'm feeling this. If it was this wood with the white seating, then I would use that. But I'm not really feeling the white setup here, so I think I'm just gonna get rid of that. And I believe we only have space for a couple of table sets. There's just not really a whole lot of space in here. What I could do is maybe have a larger table in the center here, so that way we can get 6 seats at it rather than just 4. And then maybe along the side here have just have this table with the 2 chairs. So maybe we could stick it right underneath the window here. That could be kind of a nice little more secluded seating area over there. And then I believe there is a dining chair that sort of matches the coloring of that. So we could go for this one, which is even bigger, so this could just be sort of a grand seating area in here, so we can try this out. If this takes up too much space, then I could just try the smaller version of this, but I think that this is the same coloring, so we can try getting these tables. So this way we now have 8 chairs around this, so maybe this is... I think this is a little much for the space, so I think I'm gonna have to go down to the smaller seating. So we'll just undo that and then go for the smaller version of that, the one that's only 6-seater. So that is this one right here. I think this is the right coloring. Okay, I think that works. And let's get you over here, get you right there. And you need to be centered, so we'll move this over a little bit. Okay, so this is what we've gotten here so far. I mean, I like these chairs, but I don't know if I'm feeling them for this room. So I'm gonna actually try the more formal ones that may go with that better. That way we also get some color options, because the other chairs do have a lot more variety in colors. So I might be able to find something other than blue that works, because I feel like this is also a lot of blue. Yeah, I think these chairs work out a little bit more. The green may work in here. We've also got this nice beige type color, which doesn't completely match the color of the table, but it does go well with the beige type colors in the carpet. We could also go with orange, which is, of course, a complementary color to blue. That might also work well. What else do we have? We have like I said, I like green. The coloring of the actual wood on the chair matches the table also. So let's see what else we have in that type of wood coloring. Because I do like the woods to sort of go together, at least for this kind of a space. We have this darker blue that sort of works. I don't think there's really a whole lot with this type of green. Oh, whoops, I meant to clone that. But we can also, oh wow, I got the completely wrong one, but I just want to put one of these beside it, so as I'm choosing the colors, I can make sure I'm getting the same wood coloring. I believe we also have brown, but I feel like old brown's kind of boring. So I think I'm just gonna go for the green in here. Green and blue always go together kind of well. My 2 favorite colors, so to me they look pretty good together. So we can just stick that there. It would be kind of cool if there was another color with the same wood that worked. I mean, we could also do a slightly different one. We could also use the white wood framing, because that might work well with the wood the white wood that's on the table as well. But then there's not a whole lot of colors in that one as well, other than pinks, but I'm not really feeling pink chairs. I don't really like that, so I'm just gonna stick with the greens. I also will add in the menu type item, which was suggested in a previous part to add in, which would definitely work really well for these. Okay, here it is. Can we get you to go forward? You know what, I'm going to do the thing where I fill in all the slots and then place it how I please, because I really want it to be further back towards the window rather than smack dab in the center of the table. Okay, so I think we got all the slots filled in, so let's get this thing on the table, get it all the way scooched back against the window. And I think that's good. Yeah, I really like that. Definitely looks like a realistic kind of a placement. We can also get one of these in the center of this table. It's not exactly the most beautiful decoration for here, but I think for this it works well, so they can get their food. They can put whatever they want on it. So I think that works pretty well. I'm thinking we can also get another plant in this corner right here. So what do we want to go with? I could go with this. Or that's... maybe we could add that in there. It's a little bit more modern than what I've used elsewhere in this place, but I think it's fine. And as far as the color goes, what do we have that works? I think green, also orange might not look half bad. Let's see, green versus orange. I kind of like the orange. It pops out a little bit more and does still go well with the greens in here. I'm also going to get rid of this light there. Unfortunately, that does make the place look a little bit dimmer. But I guess I should get some type of wall lighting back in there. So I'll just stick one of these back in. Maybe centered. I think maybe some more paintings would also look nice. Maybe if we took this wall lighting, because I'd rather have a painting here than a wall lighting. Or wall light. Perhaps we could take wall lights and put them right here. On either side of the door. That helped to fill in the wall space over there. And then I think once we get a light into the kitchen, some of them might also come through that archway. So I can put a light in here and see if that helps over here. Which it does a little bit, so maybe that's fine. And then we can also get a painting on this wall. Because I just really feel like it needs something else. I'm thinking just something small and simple. Maybe we can go with this little rooster wall hanging. I think that looks pretty nice for there. Hey, I think that's a cozy little decoration for the space. I feel sort of like there needs to be something else here. Maybe I can also have something else on this side. Oh, what if I put this here and then on the other side added in a menu? So there was that wall item, that like chalkboard item that looked like a menu. So we can have this here, so it's kind of on the wall where they can see it, going towards the kitchen. And I think I'm this coloring. I like this coloring. Yeah, I think that works well. But that is all I'm going to do in the dining room for now, so I'm going to move on to the kitchen area. Since I think that the dining room didn't really take too long to do, so we can move on to this. I might change it, but I'm thinking I'm going to use the same flagstone that I used out in the entrance area in here. You know what, maybe instead of an arch, we would actually want some double doors going in here. Because maybe you wouldn't want people to be able to just always look into the kitchen. We could... No, it's a little bit too industrial. I mean, I guess most of the time you don't really have arches going into the kitchens and restaurants. Like, sometimes they do have windows. I guess now, well, there's not really enough space for a window now. So I guess I'll just do these double doors. Just to close it off a bit. So I think that does look a little bit better. Yeah, I think the doors look better. So moving into the kitchen, I know this is supposed to be a cozy inn with lots of woods, but I think I'm actually going to use the industrial counters, then, which don't have matching cabinets unfortunately, but there are these industrial counters that were unlocked from the culinary career, and I think that since this is supposed to be more of a commercial kitchen, that those would work well. So I'm just going to get some of them in here, and then in this little alcove, I think alcove is what I was trying to say before, I'm going to put a couple of fridges in here. I believe I did a build before where I had in the Hawthorne Vista speed build, which was more of a commercial type build. Someone pointed out, I believe they said that a commercial kitchen would have two fridges in it, which does make sense because you got a lot of people to feed. You probably need a lot of space to store the food. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to just have two fridges right in there, and then over on this wall I'm thinking some more of these. And then in front of this window would be a good spot for a sink, I believe. So we can get the most, what's the most industrial? I guess this is the one from the culinary career, so... Oh, the coloring. I don't like the coloring. Maybe this one? I don't know if that's very industrial looking. We could try this one. That one is sort of nice. It's a little bit more old-fashioned than I would like. We could also just go for this one. This one might really be the best. Yeah, I think this one in a black color works well. I also have to figure out what to do as far as the cabinets above it go. We could try these. These did have a white and black color. But they don't exactly match. And I could try the counters with these, which are a little bit more industrial looking as well, but you know what, maybe these ones will work better because they still look kind of commercial, but they're a little bit more, I guess they kind of look older maybe, and they actually have matching cabinets, so we could try that. But I also did like the actual commercial ones. Yeah, I think these might work a little bit better for the space. So we can try those. I could also just go with wood ones. Like just go with this. But maybe it would look better just to go more traditional in here. I do actually like how this looks, like how this counter looks with this flooring, because the grays do tie in together, but perhaps a different cabinet color would be better. Ooh, I actually like this one. Okay, I think this is actually what I'm gonna go with in this kitchen. Yeah, I think it still works well. It still has a sort of cozy look. Like I said, I really like how the countertops and the flooring go together. And what color was it? I think this is the matching color. Yeah, that does have a nice cozy look to it. We can also try maybe just having a counter go over top of this. But then you look in through here and you just see the back of the cabinet for part of the window. I think that's fine. I'm gonna just leave that. Maybe we could try a more silver color for these as well. Maybe just white. You know what? I think the black's fine. So we can have more black appliances in here. And over on this side, I'm just gonna stick these in. I might stick, I don't know if I'm gonna have an island in here or not. Is there even enough space for that? I'm probably gonna keep things kind of simple with this kitchen, actually. Okay, that's a slightly darker color for... Okay, that's the one that matches. Yeah, I'm not really sure that an island is needed in here. So I think I'm just going to keep without an island. What I'm going to do here is have a double stove. So we got 2 fridges, 2 stoves. So we can do this stove here. I think this one also came in... No, it just came in this color, so we could try that. I think there was one that came in black that maybe would match the fridge. Maybe this one instead. So we can go for the fanciest fridge, or fanciest stove actually. We could also go for this one, which is a bit of a downgrade, but you know what, I'll just go for these. Although these ones did look a little bit more unified together. So you know what, I'm actually gonna go back to those. Okay, so we can do this. We can also have a shorter cabinet up here. And then as far as the vent goes for it, oh, right, we were already in there. There is, where was it? This one? No, it wasn't this one. Well, though that doesn't look bad. Actually, let's try that. I kind of like the look of sticking these. Oh, okay, never mind. Those don't work. We're not going to do that. Actually, I'm just going to use the other one, which was... Where was it? This one right here. So I did this in... I did this in a build that I'm currently working on, where rather than using like this one and putting it together, because this one, well, we could try this one. Actually, maybe that does look better than what I was about to do. Never mind what I was gonna say. So we can do this, maybe. I guess we can keep that. Maybe I will show what I was thinking about doing, though, so you guys can see what I was talking about. I was gonna just do this. So rather than having these two hanging down here, have these two hood vents all the way up here. Which maybe looks a little bit more commercial. You know what? I think I actually like this more. So I think that's what I'm going to stick with. And then now I just got to get some decorations on these counters. And I also need to make sure that I leave at least one empty counter space for preparation. But moving along to decorative type items, we should probably have a smoke detector in here, even though I'm pretty sure it doesn't do a whole lot of good. But it fits in for this kind of a place. Oh, there's this thingy too. Oh, maybe we could have this against the wall. I think for a commercial type kitchen like this, that this would be a good item to have in here. Just in case you have any inexperienced Sims using this kitchen, they catch things on fire. It does kind of look bad though, but do we... So if we have this, do we need the smoke detector? I don't think so. So I guess I can just leave that there for the time being. Getting back to kitchen type decorations though. Let me get over to them. So next to the sink, we've got to have our paper towel type item. That's definitely a standard thing to have there. Where was the paper towels? Here we go. Okay, so we'll just stick these guys right here, a little bit away from the sink. We also got to have a little soap pump so they can wash their hands. Usually before I would just let the soap snap like this, but then it just disappears when you do that. So I'm just going to do the tedious thing where I just fill up all the slots and then just place it my own little custom way. Just tedious. I'm just holding shift down just to place these over and over again because I don't particularly care where... I'm just gonna undo that last one because I don't know if it... Yeah, it's stuck underneath somewhere. Okay, good. So we can now place it however we want. I'm thinking right next to the sink but not actually on it, so right here. And now we can get rid of the million other soap pumps that I placed. Okay, those things are gone. As far as the color, I think I'm just gonna go with a nice simple black color for this. What else would you have? Maybe a towel? Maybe a towel on the wall? I don't know. You have paper towels though, so I don't know if you would need that. What about this milk jug? Oh, that doesn't really fit. Oh, we also need a trash can. I could probably put that over against this wall. So that's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing we didn't add the whatever it is, island in. Because it does give a lot of space. Oh, like, yeah, if I put shelves above this, I just thought I could put pots and pans in it. So that would work well. I don't know, would you want to have that in this kitchen? Maybe on this side we can put the... I can just leave it... Maybe put like a decorative type thing over here, and then on this side fit in a coffee maker if I can. I actually don't think I can fit in a coffee maker. You know what, I'm actually just gonna not have this in here. I don't really know if that fits in with this type of place. So we can get rid of that and have... Actually, maybe we can go with the black version of this one. There, we're gonna have this fancy coffee maker in here so they can make the coffee that goes out here for the people to drink. I think that would work well. And now let's get an actual decorative type item in here. I want to go with a plant or maybe something that would make a little bit more sense in here. A plant would be kind of nice, so maybe we can stick this little guy in here. And then maybe blue. Blue's kind of nice and bright. I mean, just because it's a commercial kitchen doesn't mean it can't look well decorated. And over here, I'm not going to put a whole lot because we do need to leave one of these spaces free. Or else they won't be able to prepare food, and that's just a whole pain. So I think this color works really well for this. I don't know if you really need a whole lot. There is this. Maybe we could have this kind of like things they might use to prepare. Alright, that's good. I think that's about all we need on the counters in here. So now I'm just going to get some shelving on here, and then we also still have to do the walls, and then that's going to be about it. So I think this part is going to end up being longer, but at least most of it was spent doing new rooms rather than just like half of it on changes. So I'm okay with that. If it does end up being like 45 or so-ish, 50, it might be closer to 50 minutes. I don't know. I never really know these things until I edit, because as I'm recording these, usually I just kind of stop a lot. Like I get distracted and then I stop for like 5 minutes and then I come back to it. You know, like, or I stop a little bit to think about what I'm going to do. But right now I'm just placing the shelving. Maybe we don't need 2 layers of shelving on here. Maybe just 1. So what I could do is just have 1 and then move a little higher up, because we can also put things on top of the fridge. So we can get 2 levels of storage that way. Okay, I think that that's good. So now we just gotta look for some more kitchen decorative type items. I do definitely want to use this. So I'm thinking this would work well just raised up and stuck on top of the fridge, since it is a little bit too big to go on top of the shelf. Yeah, it would look like it was falling off the shelf. So we just kind of move it this way, so we've got some extra pots and pans for them to use, and it's somewhat floating, so gotta lower it a little bit. But then if I lower it a little bit, it looks like it's part of the way down on the fridge, but I guess it's better than having a floating pot, and at least that way it doesn't come through the shelf at all. So I think that still looks fine. I think it still works really well for here. I'm wondering if we could have this. So maybe this could be a somewhat... Oh no, we can't put that there because Sims still need to be able to get there to prepare food. Maybe we could stick this kind of in this corner. I guess this can maybe be not exactly the cleanest kitchen on earth. So we can have a little bit of color here and there. Now I'm not really... I know this is useful for this kind of a place, but it's ugly. I'm not really feeling it. What else do we want to add in here? Maybe some cookies? I guess cookies would work for this place. Although maybe, yeah, maybe we want to actually stick these on the shelf since they actually snap to it. I think it would also be good to have some books on the shelves, kind of like their cookbooks. So I think this would work really well. Looks kind of like binders. Like binders, they might stick recipes in for the whatever food they prepare. So once again, I have the move objects cheat on, and I'm just tapping 9 to raise this up here. So we can stick it against the wall, kind of like the wall's holding up one side, and then you got the little bunny bookend at the other. Alright, so I'm going to change it to this color. We don't really need a whole lot else. Maybe some more books, kind of like some more recipes, except... Oh, whoops, I didn't even have it. Okay, so we can stick that there. And I think that's fine. Maybe a little decorative flower up here as well, so we can stick this. I think that looks nice. And for this guy, I'm going to go with a green color. And I think we could find one more thing to stick on top of here. Maybe this? I don't know, maybe they make a little hot chocolate for people. And it could be like an extra paper towel too. And it actually fits really nicely underneath there, although I have a feeling it's floating. But if I move this down, this might be something that looks even more buried. Yeah, that looks... Yeah, I'll just deal with it floating a little bit. Okay, so we can do that. I think that looks pretty cool up there. And the fridge still should be functional and everything, but I think that's enough of the stored items on top of there. We also should have a little trash can in here, so I'm thinking we could go higher end and use this one. And let's see what colors we have for... Oh no, this is it. This trash can's cool, but I don't really like the coloring on it, and I'm just gonna get rid of that. As far as the wallpapering goes, maybe we could have those... Oh no, it just took away a sink. I figured that was gonna happen. As long as it didn't get rid of the soap, I'm okay, because the soap was incredibly tedious to place. But it could be kind of cool to have that stone on the wall there. Sort of like, to give it sort of like a calm look here. But okay, we're gonna put this thing back in. I believe we had a black color for it. And I think we need some rugs. Maybe a couple rugs in here as well, like just some smaller ones in front of both the stove and the sink for people to stand on while they're working, so that way they're not just directly on stone. So I think we can go simple, go neutral, just go with some brown rugs in here. I think that looks fine. The trash can's cool, but I don't like how it looks. That's why I never really use that one. So I'm just gonna stick this in here, make it... I think black's a good color for this room. And then now I gotta figure out the rest of the wallpaper in here. It's a kitchen, but maybe some type of paneling, or we could have tile just on this wall and this wall. And then, actually, could we do this? Could we... Did that get rid... Yeah, that got rid of something. We could do the stone behind the counters. So maybe we do the stone as a backsplash throughout the whole kitchen, and then have perhaps use this all wood paneling on the rest of the walls. I think that could look kind of nice, just to make this kitchen look even more cozy. Yeah, I think that looks fine. We could also do all paneling, because I was thinking about using either wood paneling on the rest of the walls or a stone tile. That does look, or a brown tile, I mean. This does look kind of nice. We could also see how just a brown tile would look. Like there's this one here. And that actually looks sort of nice, but then you've got 3 different kinds of wallpaper going on in here, which could be a little busy. So I think for the time being, I'm just going to change it back to the stone behind everything and then just have the paneling on these walls here. Or we could do stone there, have just paneling here. This could also work as well. Oh, I actually like this. Well, this is all I'm going to do in this part. Before ending things, I did want to mention the whole submitting households for me to base the room furnishings off of thing again, because I haven't discussed it in the last couple of parts. So I'm not gonna choose what households I use until I actually go to do the rooms, which I'm thinking will be in part 12, because the next part I'm going to do the common area upstairs, and then after that I'll start doing the rooms. So I'm just going to pick a different household for each room. So that does give you guys another week to a week or so, I think about a week to submit households if you do want to do that. And I did look at the, like I did look at the hashtag on the gallery, and I was so surprised by how many households there already are. So like, thank you so much, those of you who have submitted households. Like, it seriously made me just so happy to see that. Like, I was amazed. I was only expecting to see like a couple of households, but yeah, once again, just thank you so much. But I'm gonna end the part here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.